It's always a puzzle in everyone's chart, at any age, at any time. When you talk about it, you're usually talking about worldly things and the ego and things, but when you're thinking on it and you're trying to solve the broken heart or free it, and open up the sense of oneness, and it changes everything incredibly in your life. So it depends on the level of consciousness you come in to use the language, what you'll see. And you'll see where you're at. Not necessarily when you're doing someone's chart. If someone's on a higher level beyond you, you're not going to see it. They can see where you are, but they can usually draw the information they need from the way you're looking at it. Okay, but the freedom and the responsibility, the independence, doing one's own thing, being creative, that's the challenge, that's the dream, that's the goal of the spring and summer signs. I'm doing it, I'm creative. Mine, my. When you get to the fall and winter, it's we're doing it. We need each other. It's us. Not so you're saying, mine, me, winter, and that's what? We all got to help out here. We all got to do things here. And that requires more responsibility, more sensitivity to each other. So the sensitivity to each other is the group communal spirit, the receptivity, the openness, the service, the devotion, the dedication of the mother. But it's still one can be dedicated as a mother and still have to work like crazy to keep up with it, but one will listen and do what they can and never think they're good enough, but everybody's been mother, so I'm doing my part. But to get from this freedom point to the group point, or to send it from the creative to the receptive, and to get to the point where you can complete the whole zodiac and be it all and go beyond it, you have to go through the Scorpio death of the ego, of the individual ego, through sharing, through consummating relationships, through trusting, through death, through life, to realize there's deeper things and there's other people and other things to be sensitive to. This is the magic of Scorpio and the mystery of Halloween. So the individual dies, it's scary, oh my goodness, what am I going to hug? And then through commitments and people working together, tremendous things can be accomplished, far greater than one person doing something by themselves. So how are you aligned? Just doing your own thing? Are you aligned to a team? Who's working which way? And there can be good and bad both ways. There can be good groups and teams, there can be bad groups and teams. There can be good government, bad government. There can be good cops, bad cops, good gangs, bad gangs, good groups, bad groups. But there's still teams and groups and pressure. And there's independence, people are being really independent from groups, doing their own thing. And some are doing it really blatantly, selfishly, and some are doing it nobly. Some are doing it to just get attention, to be special and make things happen. And sometimes these very same people are being shunned and not fitting in anywhere. Who cares? I'm not better there. So these little categories are simple. We're just making the association. You're still seeing a heart is born into life, a soul comes in, and it's going to try and express itself, experience themselves. And if they're in a daylight is greater, they need to be their own person. They need to have confidence in what something they've done themselves and who they're being themselves, not how everybody else is telling them to be. Or if someone's born in the fall or winter, they need to be part of the team and feel they're interrelated and it's meaningful. They need that interaction with others to accomplish things. They're less likely to just go out and do their own things without reflecting on how it's going to affect others. Wow, this simple little category sets a standard around, not a rigid standard, just opens up an idea of how kids should be taught or how people need to grow up to be themselves. Before you can be yourself, how can you possibly find your oneness? Like you got to be yourself outwardly in the world, and then it evolves to why can't other people be? Or it evolves in different ways, so we open up. And life is a fantastic adventure that hits all these nerves and makes all these levels of consciousness and each of these layers of planets grow. Then we get to, when we get to the 4 seasons, we're putting these 2 categories together. So the winter signs, daylight is increasing. They're trying to be more independent, but the nighttime is greater. I want to be independent, but society and the group influence is really stronger than the independent influence. So you have individuals trying to emerge from social situations, trying to make things a little bit different when they get time to. Once they've taken care of everything, they want a little time for themselves. They want their freedom 55, or a little bit of time for themselves. But that's the social predominance of winter and the responsibilities, but trying to get some freedom anyways within the middle of it. In springtime, you have the day, so if the sun's there, that lesson's going to happen. It's you need to work with others in that. If you get disassociative, there's a tendency, I got to do a little bit myself, but you don't want to do it so much that you're away from everyone else. You still want to be part of the group and doing something special within the group. So these are the signs, Capricorn, Aquarius, basically really work well in a team, and they take on the extra responsibility, extra thing, so that they're doing something special inside of that group commitment. Now, to imagine at each age, that's how you begin to see how do you get confidence at 1 year old, at 5, at 10, at 15, at 30, at 45, at 60, and you begin to expand on this association. When you get to the springtime, daylight is increasing, daylight's greater. These are people who are very independent and want more independence. They're the least likely they want to be told what to do or have to fit into someone else's world. So if you're going to try and marry an Aries, Taurus, or Gemini, you have to catch up to them. You have to be an add-on. You're not going to be the equal because they're doing their thing. You're trying to get them to be more humble or more listening. It's not going to happen like that. They're going to relate by how they're shining and doing their things and how they have room for you in that. So the sun there can be really strongly creative and very independent, but it also can be very alone as one gets old. At different ages, you get it one way, and then you have it come back at you when you're older. So the lesson of what the sun's going to learn is how to be more and more independent, take things as far as you can. But underneath that, there's an undercurrent that's saying, well, what does it mean to anybody? Well, it doesn't matter, I have to do this. Then you want to talk about it and other people haven't done it. And either you're the leader that's leading them to it, or you're showing off and bragging in front of somebody else. But these are the ones that are not going to listen to rules so much. They're going to follow what their impulses are. And it's hard to change their ways. So they're the most independent, most creative signs, but least receptive. When you get to the summer, the nighttime's increasing and the daylight is greater. So you have people trying to I want to belong, but I'm still me. I'm me, but I want to belong. I'm me, but I want to have a home. I'm me, but I want to have my kids. I'm me and my kids and the work that I do or my skills. So this is like Cancer, Leo, Virgo. The I is, it's my way. I want to have home, but it's got to be my home or what I want it to do. I got my kids, they got to go my way. And I know the way things have to be done for my kids in my home. I have the system worked out. I know how to do it. Don't tell me how to do things. So I'll do things for you, but don't tell me how to do it. This is the summer signs. They're self-critical. There's a self-critical, sensitive element, but there's still the strength to try and carry it off and do something to take your best shot anyways. So anytime you're going through anything on the sun signs, you can always use it to expand your understanding of the sun and the different signs it can be, the different challenges it brings up. So when you get the fall signs, you get the nighttime is greater and nighttime is increasing. So these are people who want to belong, who feel they're part of a team, and they want to be more. They feel they belong and they want to belong more. Or if it's negative, I'm nobody if I don't belong. If you don't care for me, it means nothing. You know, like, I really want your approval. So there's a need to get feedback and interact with people, which requires a different type of sensitivity than the Aries, Taurus, Gemini, which are not giving feedback. They're just showing you, they're just doing it. The Libra, Scorpio, Sag is sharing and committing and being involved and see how relationships work. That's the nighttime increasing and the nighttime is greater. I'm belonging. You mean something to me. I can't live with it. You mean more to me. Being together. If you're not there, why bother if nobody cares? You look at it, it's a puzzle. If you're writing a story, you have the mechanics of how do you embellish a story. There's some great books on the story of the zodiac, of how a soul comes in and goes through different lessons in each sign and has to go through the experiences of the signs. One of them was a kid's book. It's not sold in the stores anymore, but I know you can get it on I've seen it on Amazon. It's called The Zodiac, a Piscean Fantasy. And it's really a kid's story, but going from Aries and going on the adventures through all the signs. Another one would be The Labors of Hercules by Alice Bailey, who talks about the soul has a challenge in each sign to develop its soulfulness. That's a more mystical book. These are books that are available, and they would expand understanding of it. Right now, it's enough just wonder and puzzle and make it personal and see that it's so. You're just starting. You want to make sure you see it in your chart how it's working. and how you see it. Find a few examples of how it works. That's what the worksheets are geared for, to get you to take the symbol and the association. Oh yeah, I see it like that. Oh yeah, there's an example of how this I did like this. Now really, once you clue in and you get this, you get these images of, you get whole bunches of examples of how it would work at different ages, at different times, and suddenly you could write a whole book on any one planet in any one category. You could write pages, but it's one is enough. But when you're thinking about it, you're going to think a few. You may think, oh, I did this or this. Think at different ages, how this worked, how confident were you as a 2-year-old, as a 5-year-old, when you started school, at puberty, at 13 when you started high school, or when you left school, or when you went to college or not, we got married or not, we went out to work or not. And then from 30 on, in your 30s, you can see at midlife, you're seeing how the sun is working at different times and how you've accumulated that experience. So you're going to accumulate those experiences positively and negatively. And the soul is going to be burning through the trash and trying to build up your confidence no matter what's happened. And often the soul gains way more from a negative experience than a positive one. We learn so much more from our enemies and our adversaries than we do from well-wishing friends. So it's hard to focus on what's the standard here. It's what's love? I mean, I used to think I knew what love is. I thought differently in my teens at different ages. Now, that's in my 70s, I haven't a clue what it is. It's not what I thought it used to be. It's still a continuous growing mystery, but still a very important thing to have a relationship to or to feel you're a part of. And we often feel tortured when we're cut off from it. Okay. So basically, when you're looking at the sun, you're not looking at it just an interest. There's a need to be and be alive and to find confidence and to radiate and to empower the categories that it's in. And as it empowers it, it'll come empowered out towards the ego in a really strong way. And eventually that will soften or dissolve or get humbled until it radiates out in a more wholesome or spiritual way. And it's our life experiences that bring these things about. Not just a random, life is not just a random coincidence of events. It's a well-organized it's a well-organized scheme and system and matrix. So then, now that you've picked up how independent or not independent, how much you're moving towards it or trying to belong, once you've picked up that main theme, as that's going to be confidence for me, that's how I'm going to find my confidence. Then, if it's in a masculine or feminine sign, if it's masculine signs, you're going to project exactly that out into the world. You're going to project your confidence in those ways, the freedom, responsibility, the belonging, not belonging, those attitudes get set. And then once that's set, that's a powerful dynamic, a behavioral dynamic, then you'll project it in the masculine signs in Aries, Gemini, Libra, Leo, Libra, Sag, Aquarius. These are all the signs that are going to project their confidence, their purpose, their willfulness. I'm me. Just the key. I'm Aries. Here I am. I'm doing it. I'm thinking. I'm doing as many things as I can. Aren't I the best? Leo. Hi, how are you? Do you like me? You want to share some things? Libra. Hey, listen, there's a ball game on. There's a theater going on. There's a movie going on. There's some dancing going on. Let's go be part of it all. Sagittarius. Aquarius. Let's see the team and let's find the groups and the people that know the most, that understand. Let's learn. And here's what I know. Here's what I know. And there's a need to express what you know to people who need to respect it. So they have their own attitudes of light and dark. That's taken care of. But then you'll see each of these factors will project what the category is always picking up. So when you're looking just at your own chart, you see, if it's Aquarius, you see daylight's increasing. I got to try and be more me, but there's so many commitments and other people and responsibilities. I have to find my own way in the midst of everybody. And I'm going to project what I know, what I believe, who I'm being, which is the Aquarius factor coming in, projecting the team spirit and belonging. I know what everybody needs. I know what's happening. Like, there's a tendency to find confidence in context with others. But really, the Aquarian team spirit or thinking and ideas and knowledge, the need for that is coming down and radiating on your sun. It's putting a filter on your sun, so you're going to find your confidence through that.